Next, more on the Biden family corruption. Author Peter Schweizer and associate Schweizer Bruner are searching right now through thousands of Hunter Biden's emails. They'll join us right after these quick words. We'll find out what they've found out. Stay with us. More questionable connections on China Joe Biden's transition team. According to emails published by Peter Schweizer, former OMB director, and current co-chair of Biden's transition team, Jeff Zients, hosted the Chinese Entrepreneur Club at the White House on November 14th of 2011. That would be just 9 days after Hunter Biden's business partner, Devon Archer, was told by a colleague the meeting would be an opportunity to gain, quote, outstanding new clients. Well, joining us now, Peter Schweizer, author of Profiles in Corruption, Abuse of Power by America's Progressive Elite, and Schweizer Bruner, working with Peter to uncover the illegal activities of the Biden family for years. And they're going through what I understand, Peter, to be 26,000 emails that have been provided you by a former business partner of Joe Biden. What have you found so far?
Well, we found a lot of things, Lou. We found that this sort of United Nations of corruption involving deals in China, Ukraine, and Russia are extensively covered in these emails. For example, there's the relationship that the Senate report talked about, which was Yelena Baturina, this Russian oligarch linked to Russian organized crime that sent $3.5 million to Hunter Biden's business. We now know that actually Hunter Biden's firm, small firm, set up Yelena Baturina's first accounts in the United States. Even though that these were so-called flagged accounts. So, yes, we've got great granular detail on all of these. We're going through them. And what it's clear is that the business partners knew what Hunter's role was. He was the main hookup to the administration, and his father's name and position was the planet around which this moon circulated constantly.
Give us a sense of how Hunter Biden worked with the Chinese as well and aligned, if you will, interests with communist Chinese entities. Seamus, can you speak to that?
Sure, Lou. Well, as Peter and we broke in one of the last books, Hunter Biden flew with his father on Air Force Two to China, and just 10 days later, he lands a $1 billion private equity deal involving the Chinese government. Now, there are lots of emails on China in the Bevan Cooney account. We found very disturbing letters to government officials from the Obama-Biden administration showing that they facilitated this deal, which is a shocking revelation. We're going to have more on that soon. And in addition to the Chinese, the Russian money, the Kazakh money, it's all just flowing into the accounts of the Hunter Biden associates. And thanks to the Ron Johnson Senate report, we know that flowed into Hunter's pockets as well.
A lot of money moving here, and you talked about flagged accounts just now, Peter. You're talking about sanctioned accounts, are you not?
Yeah, Yelena Baturina was on a watch list. This was in 2014. The email exchange involves Devon Archer, his close business associate, Hunter Biden's, and they're talking about the fact that Yelena Baturina, this Russian billionaire who got the money really through corrupt means, she's linked to Russian organized crime. That's what our State Department says. She's trying to get her assets out of Russia because Russia's invading Ukraine and sanctions are coming. Her name and her accounts are flagged because she's known to be involved in corrupt activities. They describe going to J.P. Morgan, convincing J.P. Morgan to set up these accounts. So Yelena Baturina was able to get assets out of Russia courtesy of Hunter Biden's firm.
And with that, let's start with the fact that these laptops were in the possession. This laptop was in the possession of the FBI for about a year. No action was taken of any kind. we know that these sanctioned individuals, that is, in this case, Hunter Biden's client, why was there no action taken by the FBI? Their sanctioned accounts, they can see money moving through, including the accounts of the firms associated with Hunter Biden. Why no action? Do you have an answer or an inkling as to what might be the reason?
Well, I would say I think that, there's a two-tiered system of justice in America today. We see that all the time, whether it's celebrities or political figures. The sort of things that would get most people in trouble, like me, and people in your audience, political figures are allowed to get away with. I think if I were trying to funnel money from a corrupt Russian oligarch linked to Russian organized crime into the United States, and it was a flagged account, I think JP Morgan would tell me no. And I also think I'd probably get a visit from federal authorities.
Well, the banks have great responsibility in this, do they not? I mean, Chase has a responsibility. It's flagged. There should have been alerts all over the place. That's going into the account system of Chase. Seamus, your thoughts about why the banks aren't being responsible here?
Well, sure, Lou. Ron Johnson's Senate report shows that there were numerous red flags. There were alerts. They're called suspicious activity reports. Banks fill these out when they get suspicious about some of the activity on the account. So they filed this report with the Treasury Department.
I'm just asking you, Seamus, we're down to about a minute, and I just need you to focus on, if you will, why are these banks getting away with not complying with federal law?
Yes, J.P. Morgan Chase said, in these emails, they talk about what J.P. Morgan Chase said about Elena Baturina and how her company was flagged and how she was flagged. But they said she hasn't been indicted, and therefore, let's move ahead. And the business partners sort of celebrate, and that ludicrous standard that she hasn't been arrested, by that standard, Vladimir Putin could have invested money with them, and he hasn't been arrested. So they obviously created huge problems, but that's a great question, and we're still trying to get to the bottom of it.
Peter Schweizer, thanks for being with us. Seamus, we appreciate it. It's remarkable, and we will be pushing your book on this broadcast, I guarantee you, and we are delighted to have you with us. Keep up the great work as always. Thanks so much. Tonight's quotation of the day comes from The Trump Century. That's right, that's my new book about Google and how it became a monopoly. In the book, I wrote this, quote, "Its embrace of the Obama administration spared Google any serious antitrust scrutiny in the United States for 8 years. Obama owed much to Google for his electoral success." There's much more you would, I'm sure, like to read about. It's in The Trump Century.